Oriental Mysticism by E.H. Palmer. This is an 1867 book. And as we've seen before, he's a Grand translator. I presented his Grand translation, and it's not the worst one. So, you know. This is a treatise on Sufistic and Unitarian theosophy of the Persians, compiled from native sources by E.H. Palmer, Cambridge, Dighton, Bell and Co., London, Bell and Dalby, 1867, and published by Frank Cass and Company Limited. To His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of the French, all praise be to God. The thinking, I don't know, it mentions the messenger of God and stuff. And there's talking about the greatest testimony. I don't really know too much what else is being said there. And I don't actually know any of the words in part 7 of that. I mean, part 6, right? And part 7, Baraka, Nawari, Tabak. Oh, it says Ramadan, something about Ramadan. Is that when it was done? Something in the year of the Hijri. Okay. Translation. Sir, from a feeling of profound admiration for the munificent encouragement given to Oriental studies throughout Your Majesty's empire, I have solicited the honor of dedicating Your Majesty this attempt to contribute towards a better understanding of the philosopher poets of the East, the noble institutions of France, for the promotion of those studies, some of which it has been my privilege to attend, and the illustrious names that adorn them will make Your Majesty's reign long remembered as the brightest era in European Orientalism. I have the honor to remain, Sir, Your Majesty's most obedient and humble servant, dated Ramadan 1283, January 1867. Guess I should have read ahead. The preface. The following work is, well, actually, no, I guess there's information that I would have missed had I only had the translation. The following work is founded upon a Persian manuscript treatise by Aziz bin Muhammad Nafasi, but I've endeavored to give it a clearer and more succinct account of the system than would have been afforded by mere translation. The term Sufi is derived from the Arabic word suf, wool, in allusion to the dress adopted by the dervishes, who are the master and teachers of the sect. Similarity to the Greek sophos appears to be merely accidental. The system of the Sufis consists in endeavoring to reconcile philosophy with revealed religion. Oh, that's where the whole thinking for oneself thing comes in. And in assigning a mystical and allegorical interpretation to all religious doctrines and precepts. These tenets are found principally among the Shiites, or followers of Ali, and happen to have existed in Islam from its very foundation. Indeed, the expression of Al-Quran, I am the truth, is the first principle of the system. They may be considered as forming the esoteric doctrine of that creed, steering a mid-course between the pantheism of India on the one hand and the deism of Al-Quran on the other. The Sufi cult is the religion of beauty, where heavenly perfection is considered under the imperfect type of earthly loveliness. Their principal writers are the lyric poets whose aim is to alleviate the mind to the contemplation of spiritual things through the medium of their most impressionable feelings. This habit of contemplation, which is so constantly inculcated by them, requiring as it does retirement and seclusion for its due exercise, inclines the followers of the system somewhat towards asceticism. But in countries where luxury is the idol of the many, we may not unnaturally look for a protest against it in the tendencies of the few. My present intention is merely to give an exposition of the system. Its origin and history I reserve for a future work, in which I hope to prove that Sufism is really the development of the primeval religion of the Aryan race, the Ahl-e-Wadat form, a branch of Sufism rather than a separate sect of Theosophists. They insist upon the universality and the unity of God. I've translated the title Unitarian, although I am sensible that misapprehension may arise in consequence of its current application to the professors of a particular form of modern belief and certain political things that have got more and more associated with it. But Muwahideen is the real name for what people call the Wahhabi. So it's a basic thing to Islam. So I should have preferred the use of some terms such as monopentakists. Well, that would set things apart, wouldn't it? Had I possessed sufficient courage or position to warrant me in coining so formidable an epithet. The term may be generally understood of the Muslims who, though pursuing philosophical inquiry, refuse to subscribe unreservedly to all the metaphysical doctrines of the Sufis. The expression Zat-e-Khuda, the nature of God, which the Persians designate the very essence and being of the deity, Allah, is the singular and definitive word for God in Arabic. And if you use Coda or whatever other, Zat-e-Khuda, Khuda is like creator specifically, would perhaps, not in Arabic, but in Persian, Farsi or something, perhaps according to the general use of the word Zat in construction with a proper name, be more idiomatically rendered God himself, as his treatise professes to deal in exactitudes investigating from an Oriental point of view. I preferred keeping to the original idiom as more definitely expressing the idea. In conclusion, I have only to acknowledge my obligation to Mr. C.A. Hope of St. John's College for his valuable assistance afforded me in preparing this book for the press. So, St. John's College of Cambridge. Cambridge Muslim College is a pretty good source. I've been reminded of things that I haven't seen. Now, the rest, it looks like, is going to be in 6 parts.